5 tech things you should know about, episode number 38 for May 14th, 2010. Brought to you by Mozi.com. The 5 tech things you should know about. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.tvazine.com, in association with Geekazine.com. 608-205-4378 is the phone number. Geekazine@gmail.com is the email address. You can email me or call me if you have any questions or any comments on any of our shows. Hey folks, I talk about Mozi. I talk about backing up your hard drive. It is very important that you do these things. Back up now, back up often, back up off-site with Mozi.com. Go over to Mozi.com, get yourself a home subscription, one computer, for a whole year. It's about the price of a hard drive. I'm going to give you that code GEEK. That's going to give you an additional 10% off over at Mozi.com. Back up now, back up off-site, and save all your pictures, your documents, your videos, everything. That's important. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very good news. The Podcast Madness contest is shaping up great. If you're still a podcaster or videocaster and you haven't signed up for it, do it now. Go over to podcastmadness.com. We are now, can now announce this, we're going to be giving away the prizes at Blog World Expo on October 14th through the 16th. We're going to be giving away a lot of grand prizes. Of course, Blog World's going to be supplying a couple other prizes. We've got Verbatim, we've got Epson, we've got Mozi, we've got Iolo. We've got a ton of great sponsors giving us great products, great prizes. So we're going to have one heck of a contest. Podcasters get a chance to win prizes. Listeners will get a chance to win prizes. We'll be giving away prizes every single month during the summer, and then the grand prize on October 14th through the 16th during Blog World Expo. So you're going to have to check that out. And if you are a podcaster or a videocaster, get signed up. Go over to podcastmadness.com and do so now. All right, this is the code word for the HP Data Vault. If you go over to geekazine.com, you look on the right sidebar, you'll see a form, and there'll be a name and an email and a code word. You'll be putting in the code word MEDIA. MEDIA, MEDIA, and that's going to get you into the Data Vault contest. You got until midnight on the 15th, so you better get it in now, and you could win yourself a $700 computer, which is great, from HP and Ivy Worldwide and geekazine.com. All right, let's talk about your cell phone plan. I remember 10 years ago, my cell phone plans were horrible. But of course, I didn't have texting or Facebook or anything like that. I would go over my minutes a lot when I was back in the old days. And this was like 1997, 1998. Now we don't have 300-minute plans. I have big plans and pay big money for those big plans. But you might still try to get on the same old plans. That is why the FCC wants to step in, because sometimes you go over on your plan and then all of a sudden you're paying a couple $100 for a phone bill you didn't expect. Well, the FCC wants to step in and these companies send you text messages to let you know that you're going over in your plan. That way you have no excuse. If you do go over, it's by your own accord. I think this is a great idea. I think the FCC is going to have to step in and take care of this, and because the companies expect you to go over on your plans. Now, on the same token, if you're over on the UK, you know that Vodafone has just said that their data plans are no longer unlimited, but they will be sending you a text message if you go over on your data plan. So if you're watching TV shows on your phone, you'll probably go over on your plan within an hour, and you'll be getting text messages like crazy and £3,000 bills, and that's crazy. But anyway, this is a great idea. I'm glad the FCC is going to step in on here. It took them, 10 years, 12 years, 30 years just to do that. Crazy. All right, let's talk about the Canon 5D Mark II. This is a camera that sold over 40 million of them. 20 million of them are digital SLR cameras, but the SLR camera has been around for a very long time. If you haven't checked out this Canon and you're looking for a good camera, this might not only be your digital still camera, but also your video camera. Now, you might have heard this a few weeks ago when House started. They recorded the whole episode, the whole season, the last season of House on the Mark II camera, and so if you're watching House, you're seeing this from this camera. You know how good it is. I've seen some great stills from some local artists that make it into just the most amazing thing. And they usually, most of them have the step down. The $800 model, it's about $2,500 for this camera, so it might be out of some people's price ranges, but the $800 price range might be in some of yours. this would be a great camera if you definitely want a still camera and a video camera to capture all those great moments. You're going to need a high-capacity card, high-speed card, but it's worth it for this kind of camera. I know I'm going to be looking at it, especially for a CES. I wouldn't mind taking a smaller camera with me. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you will see a switch. We went into smartphones and everybody got smartphones, and now they're really on smartphones. Now we're going to go to smart vehicles. Ford's got the Active Sync system. We're going to see Google come out with a system. We might see Apple come out with a system. We're going to see everybody coming out with a system for a vehicle. GM has it and Ford has it. Ford is doing this thing where they're going to the Maker Faire. They've got two cars. They've got one car that's twittering the event as they're driving. The other car, which is filled with a bunch of students from the University of Michigan who developed tracking systems for the Active Sync system for the Ford vehicles. So you could do things like caravans, and you could drive, and you could let people know where you are. You could Facebook, you could Foursquare the event, whatever, all the social media right there. This is exciting. Now, we're going to be going out to Ford to see these vehicles next week, which is amazing. And of course, the reason why we might be a little bit late on the 5 tech things for next week, but we're going to have some great video come out of it. Myself and Todd Cochran from Geek News Central is going to be out there. We're going to be doing a lot of great video. But right now, you can watch by going over to @AJtheFiesta on Twitter, and that'll get you the tweets from this car, and it's amazing. So check that out. I'll put all the links into the show notes. All right, let's talk a little bit about LimeWire. Of course, they have gotten under fire. Courts have said you are responsible for all the illegal downloads. 93%, even on the paid system, 93% of all the content on there was usually illegal. Now, 60% of all content on there was usually malware. So if you downloaded anything from LimeWire, chances of you getting something suspicious or malicious or even working is almost non-existent. So why would you go on LimeWire anyway? Well, the RIAA wants to put $150,000 per each count. Now, if you paid for your LimeWire, you might want to just completely forget about looking for any type of refund. First of all, if you look at the user agreement, it basically said that they're not responsible for downloads and stuff like that, so you can't sue them on that. But secondly, the RIAA will be going after them as really bad, $150,000 per incident. They're going to be pretty much broke. There's no way you'll be able to see any of that cash anyway. Get off of LimeWire, get onto something a little bit more reputable. $15 a month, you've got a music service. $15 a month, you've got your movies. It just makes sense. And no, Iron Man 2, don't try and download it because it's going to take you way too long to do that. And it costs companies millions, which is why we have higher priced tickets. All right, let's talk a little bit about Office 2010. They released the corporate version, which means corporations can use it and try and get things all situated, figured out. Office 2010 will be available to all of us in June. The best part is there's going to be an online free version to compete with Google Docs, to compete with some of these other companies like Zoho and stuff like that. You'll have your Word, you'll have your PowerPoint, you'll have your Excel. You can pay for it. The prices go from $199 to $500. They're also rolling out what's called SharePoint 2010. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. It's all web backend type stuff. Your company might be using SharePoint, but then again, your company might also be using open source. It's hard to say. It depends on your company, of course. But it's expected to come out on June 15th. You can download a free copy now, all the evaluations. But of course, remember, it's all in beta, so if there's any problems, you report on it and that's it. You can't complain if your spreadsheets are wrong. And that is the 5 tech things you should know about. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.tvazine.com, www.geekazine.com. Until next week, enter in those data vault codes. We've got one at the Day in Tech History. We've got one on the Geekazine podcast and on this show. And then until next week, we will be in Detroit, Michigan for the Ford thing. So I don't know if it's going to be a little bit late or not. If I can get the video out, I will. If not, we will get you a video sometime next week. Until next week, take care.